Hey everybody, it's Amy Neidig here, and today I actually have a privilege of interviewing Mr. Robert Hollis Jr., a successful business owner. So before we get going with some interview questions, I'll let him explain his story real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Amy. It's an honor to be doing this interview with you. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Robert Hollis Jr. And before getting in this profession of just trying to be an entrepreneur and start my own business, I dropped out of high school in my freshman year to try to become a professional skater. And of course, when that didn't work out for me, wasn't paying the bills, the people I surrounded myself with influenced me to do illegal things to make money. And of course, got caught up with that. Actually been to jail 4 times, and last time I went to jail, I just said enough was enough. One of my favorite quotes is that in order for things to change, you have to change. I drew a line in the sand and said, enough was enough. I, really stopped hanging around with the people that were influenced me, and just started making better decisions with my life. It was a pretty hard struggle in the very beginning. It took a while to really, get my self-confidence up there and get my traits down. I guess you could say my skills down. But been with the company I've been with now for a little over 5 years. They paid me a little over $800,000 from the company. Traveled all across the world, all expenses paid, done very amazing things. So it's definitely been a blessing.
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
Thank you so much again for taking some time out of your day.
No problem.
Okay, so just kind of want to jump in. These are basically just questions for people who would, who are pursuing to be an entrepreneur, or
Okay.
maybe they're in, but maybe, a good advice is always good to have, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so first off, I would say, what is integrity, and what does it mean to you, and how do you practice that in your business life and personal life?
Wow, what's integrity to me? That's a good one. I really think the basis of integrity would really just to do what you said you were going to do. I've been involved with so many different companies and worked with so many other quote-unquote leaders or people in this profession that they always just overpromise and underdeliver. I always say that there's a difference between manipulation and persuasion. And a lot of times when people are just manipulating somebody to get ahead in life or make money, they'll just flat out lie to people and say they're going to do things that they don't. And, one of my favorite things is we've always heard that talk is cheap.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because we make it cheap. If I consistently say that I'm going to do something and I don't do it, that's why I think that the terminology is talk is cheap versus, practicing having integrity every day is, meaning what you say, not lying to people, really meaning it, and doing what you're going to say. Because, I think if you have a lot of integrity as a business person, talk isn't cheap. Because if I said I was going to do something for you, that means something. Because you're actually going to follow through and practice and stay with your integrity of doing what you said you're going to do.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you put that philosophy in your personal life as well?
No, absolutely. Definitely in your personal life, because I think that anything, everybody even watching this, sometimes your friends and family are the ones you can count on the least sometimes, because I know people I work with, when they say they're going to show up to a meeting or they say they're going to do something for me, they will, versus, hey, we've all done it. Can you help come to my house to move the big TV or something, and it's, we've all had that, you invite all your friends to come move your house for you, and last second, oh my gosh, all these things come up that they, who knows if they're true or not. I'm sure a lot of them do have integrity, it's true, but yeah, I think you got to practice it all around the board in your personal life as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, and how would you define success?
How would you define success?
To yourself.
To myself. That's another really, really good one. I would go back to, success is really different for everybody. I personally now am at the point where I really believe it's how many people... Whoa, getting crazy over here. I have some product that fell over. Sorry about that. Is how many people that you can help out in life. I think success really always changes, but most and foremost, one of my biggest philosophies in business and in life is that when you focus on helping people, in return you have success. So why I think that's so incredible is nothing's more powerful than somebody coming to you to thank them for where they're at in their business, or to thank them because you help them out with your product. I'm reading a new book that's absolutely amazing. It's the Secret of a Millionaire Mindset. And, one of the things that I wrote down on Facebook the other day, it says, entrepreneurs are nothing less than somebody who just finds a problem and fixes it. They're professional problem fixers, just like the iPhone. Before the iPhone was out, surfing the internet sucked on a cell phone. Well, they found a problem, they fixed it. So now it's really how many people do you really help in life? And not only that, but it always keeps changing. But for me, it's really, I'm in a profession that's really just so people-oriented. Mm-hmm. A lot of people hear my story. I didn't really include that I was able to retire at age 30, which was a huge blessing. I got this beach home, I got my Mercedes, I met a beautiful woman, and, that was one of the biggest things, and I basically retired for a year. And looking back on it, that year was one of the most unhappy I've ever been because, I just stopped growing and I looked at, that I capped myself at my level of success and I wasn't out there helping people anymore and being out in the field. And so I really, to me, success is always changing. I think you always got to keep setting the bar higher. But as long as you're in the area of really helping people and focusing on helping people, going back to one of my favorites, like my dad always says, is when he supposedly goes to the pearly gates to get judged, to get in heaven, he just wants thousands of people on the other side of the fence screaming, "Let him in." He helped me get here. He helped me so much in my life. And I guess really at the end of the day, all the money, the cars, lifestyle doesn't compare with, actually having people around you that you supported and helped.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay. How do you think being an entrepreneur has turned you into a better person?
How has being an entrepreneur made me a better person? Wow, I honestly, it might sound cliche, but almost every area of my life. I'm sure everybody knows those, stoner skaters or high school dropouts. Me 7 years ago, I really didn't have that many friends. I wasn't sociable. There was so much more things that I wanted to see in life and experience in life. So, I think the first thing that it's helped me out personally being an entrepreneur is just being more confident and not accepting just the norm or being happy with where I'm at. I believe that's the biggest problem with America right now is people are just, mediocrity and being average is just fine. Les Brown says it the best. The worst thing about failure is it's accepted. Mm-hmm. So I think first and foremost, that's probably the biggest thing that it's helped me out personally is just to be more confident and go out there and actually chase my dreams and be able to accomplish things and see the world. I always joke around that, everybody congratulated that I have a new fiance. And it says, because it's just, I'm a good salesperson, I guess you could say. I could go on and on and on and on how much it's helped me in my personal life. But to me, I think that's the biggest one. Now being able to hold my chest high, where before I was always afraid of everything. I was too afraid to make, commitments, too afraid to make decisions, too afraid to, try to do something else because I really had no confidence in myself and I didn't believe in myself. And being an entrepreneur, not necessarily the fact of being one, but surrounding myself with other entrepreneurs that's taught me how to be more confident has definitely changed my life forever. On personal life, soon to be a father, new business adventures. I even think on my personal life with my skating and hobbies, it's just made me be a more go-getter. And I don't think anybody out there can really get what you want in life if you don't have that go-getter mentality and confidence.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so obviously being an entrepreneur, you have, different struggles kind of come up in your life, whether it's like personal or business-wise. So how do you keep out like fear and negativity creeping up on you and affecting your performance?
That's really a tough one because I know a lot of people might have different answers for this, but I still believe it doesn't matter how good you are, you can never 100% effectively get rid of that.
Right.
I still go through challenges with that every day where, I maybe am lacking the confidence I have that day or the self-belief or the excitement or the negative energy. It always comes in no matter what. There's going to be the negative relative or the skeptical business partner you have. But what I've really noticed, and just personally for me, I do a whole training on momentum, and first you have to have the potential. Once you know you have the potential, you just have to go out there and take the action, which gets you results, which gets you belief. And to me, it's just taking action really is what helps me get rid of that, because just like giving birth, it's a lot easier to give birth than it is to raise the dead. And anytime there is any moment in my life that I feel that way, I can usually look back at it at a time where I wasn't growing. Wasn't growing spiritually, wasn't growing financially, my business wasn't growing, whatever it is. And I feel like the best way for me to personally get over that is just to simply go out there and take action. Because I could maybe feel depressed or bummed out or stressed over my company not growing as fast as it will. But me putting my head down and putting the focus and action in, and looking back after a week and seeing that I had growth, now my confidence and my excitement is just through the roof, and that could equate to anything, to, your checks going up, to new members coming involved that's helped with your product, or even the simple fact of having a new person reach out to you and say, wow, you really helped me out last week. So, there's a lot of different ways I know for people to do that. Some people it's really just meditation and going back to your why and focusing on that stuff. But once again, I think you can have all the focus and meditate and, have that, quote unquote law of attraction, thoughts are reality. But at the end of the day, unless you're not taking action and unless you're not creating anything, you're not really doing anything. So that's the best way for me sometimes is, even when I'm upset, I can just come into my office and put in the strongest work day I feel I can that day. And it doesn't matter how depressed or stressed or bummed I was that beginning of the day. When I go to bed that night, I'm feeling pretty good. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Well, do you do like any other activities, like, just to kind of clear your head, or throughout the day? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, a lot of things that I personally do. I think that it's really important to be balanced in all areas of your life. So I still go out and skate. I try to do that once a week. I've recently picked up golfing. If I'm ever really, really, in the moment, I go back to, just taking a second to, meditate or prayer. Prayer really, really helps me out a lot. To just really focus on why you're doing this. For anybody out there, no matter what you're doing, you have to have a why. So, I that's another thing really, I guess would be first before taking the action is going, wow, is this really all worth it? At my office, I've actually got a framed check from my old job where I used to thought I had an awesome job. I was making good money. And for the week, I think it was $700 that I made for that week. And I actually framed it and put it on my desk because, wow, as stressful as being an entrepreneur can be, as depressing as sometimes it can get, as overwhelming as it can get, every day doing this is better than talking to a boss. You know what I mean? So, really going back to your why, is this worth it? Why are you really truly doing something like this? Is your goal just to have more free time? Is your goal to buy that mansion? Is your goal to be an amazing parent or, an evangelist that can take this opportunity and help others in their faith? So I guess other than work really is going back and focusing on your why and meditating on that because, at the end of the day, why are you doing this in the first place?
Yeah.
Yeah.